around where I stand, it's significantly colder on this reading, like 15, 20 degrees colder, no matter where I go in the room.
Mm.
So it just seemed like something was around me, right? And being an idiot, I invited whatever it was to use my life force, use my energy, blah, blah, to manifest.
All right. Well, everyone, welcome to another episode of Broadcasting Seeds Podcast. My name is Bennett Tanton, your host, and today we have Bo Kennedy, author, I will say, of multiple books, and the host of the Bump podcast. So, Bo, tell us who you are, what you do, and where we can find you, man.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And, I appreciate you having me on the show, bro. Yeah, my name's Bo Kennedy. Like you said, I'm the host of the Bump podcast. I started the show back in 2020 in May when everybody was locked down,
It's
And
always a good time to start something like this, right?
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I started the show because I wanted to go on Tony Merkel's show, The Confessionals. I wanted to go on there, and I had all this. I have like a laundry list of weird stuff that's happened in my life,
Right.
And I was like, I want to go on there and share my experiences. And so he had like a 6-month waiting list, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to start my own and start talking about it. And that's what I did. And I've had a show out with you know, it's it's an interview based show like this,
Yeah.
and I have a different guest on every week, and I've done that for coming on 6 years now. It's been a lot of fun. It's on anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's on YouTube. I'm not as consistent on YouTube, so there's a couple hundred episodes on there, but not quite,
There's
like
some gaps, right?
oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some major
That's how I
gaps
am with
on there.
Rumble.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I started to do Rumble, and I was like, "Too much work."
Yeah, I
And,
just can't. I just can't.
yeah,
I got
it's
too
like,
much other stuff.
I don't know how other people do it. I have a full-time job. I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
And, so to do that full time and then come home and do this, if I
Yeah,
was
it's
gonna hit
wild.
every social media and all the stuff that these podcasters are doing, trying to keep up with them, dude, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Um, but yeah, man, so that's my show. It's BUMP is the title, and it's an acronym for Believers of the Unexplained, Monsters, and Paranormal. And, everything I do is through a biblical worldview. Um when I started the show, I was just like collecting stories, like I'd have people come on that talk about demonic encounters or Bigfoot or being abducted by aliens. And I, was- I don't know, I did that for like a year and a half of just talking about the spooky stuff. And I told my wife, I didn't feel like I was doing something I was supposed to be doing. Like there had to be more to it for me to
Mm-hmm.
do. And I got a hold of a really good guest and talked to him off camera about my situation, and he's like, dude, you need to make your show an altar to God. And he said, my when you do that, just be ready to hold on,
Oh yeah,
because
man.
things are going to get weird. And that's what I did. And I dedicated the show to the Lord about 4.5 years ago, and things got really weird.
Yeah.
Total chaos broke out in my house. People left never to return. I went through the only way I can describe it is like a self-deliverance process,
Mm-hmm.
where, demons are fleeing even off of me. And, after that, it's been great. But it's been a journey, dude. And like you said, I wrote a book about a year ago, last March, and I didn't mean to, encroach on your releasing your book, but, I released a book last March. It's called The Army of God: Pocket Guide to Spiritual Warfare.
Right here.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll make sure we have the links and everything for it.
Thank you. dude, I wrote that book. It basically wrote itself. Um, I I'm a deacon at our church, and I'm blessed with the opportunity every month to teach at the church. And what this book is really it's a collection of sermons that I gave, and it's about a dozen different sermons. It's just different aspects of spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like the Lord called me to talk about, you know, in every aspect of my life. And when you read the book, it's very researched. There's a whole lot of scripture that backs up everything I'm talking about. And to give that in a church setting can be a little daunting. And I didn't realize that, but my wife made sure she told me that. You know, I would
Yeah.
keep people there for like an hour and a half, just hammering them with the gospel. Like you need to cast out demons. You need to pray. Pray this and pray that. And uh, you know, after doing this for a couple of years, I felt like maybe this wasn't just for the church.
Mhm.
And so I would record these sermons and I put it on the show every once in a while. Um, and I called it the Army of God series.
Yeah. Yep.
And just one thing led to another, man, and it just hit me like, you need to put this in book format, take your notes and make a book out of it and send it out. And so that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that each year to year and a half, it's not really a set schedule, but there'll be more in that series.
Yeah.
I've been working on discipleship a lot lately.
Okay.
So one of these days, maybe this next summer or something like that, I might have a second one in that series come out. Um, but this past December, I don't know when this is going to air, so I don't know how long ago that.
It'll be like a month. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so in December of 25, I decided to release a second book. That was it was more like just for fun. It's a fiction novel. It's called Terror by Night, and I'll hold that one up. I still titled it under Army of God. I got a little bit of glare going on there, but there it is. Um, this one it's still a Christian novel. It still centers around spiritual warfare, but in this novel, it crosses into the physical realm, and there's some really good notes. Um, I've done a lot of shows, man, where people have asked me to come on and talk about Lilith,
mm,
and I've done that almost ad nauseum. I've done that a
yeah, I
lot,
get it.
but uh, all of my notes are compiled and put into this story.
Nice.
So if people, if it does appeal to them, if they feel like they've been dealing with that kind of spirit, I put all that into this book too. So it's a fiction novel, but there's a lot of real mixed
Real, like,
into it. Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, man. So that's me.
That's me. So the main places are anywhere that podcasts are listened to, the Bump Podcast. And then you have a website too, right?
Yeah,
Thebumppodcast.com.
yeah, I do. It's thebumppodcast.com, and it's mainly just going to be a series of links that can get you to other
Oh,
platforms
that's
if you
right.
want to
Yeah.
look at it. Um, I occasionally I might drop a video on there, but it's not very often.
Yeah.
It's if it's like a real profound video and YouTube bans it like they did with Dr. Laura Sanger,
Yeah. Yes.
dude,
Yes.
that video was up for like half an hour, and then it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. My
they
first one where they stripped it was Heidi Love. They
yeah,
pulled her right down. It was like, what the heck? I edited it, put it back up, but
yeah,
man, I
yeah,
hate
dude.
it. Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
Lord, they're not fans. The algorithm is not a fan.
not at all. Like, it got like 3 views in the first 30 minutes, and I guess one of them was a YouTube employee or something. I don't know, man. But they struck it down, hit me with strikes, warnings, and
Yes, it
threatening
happens.
to demonetize me. I'm like, okay, I'll just put it somewhere else, you
Yeah,
know?
it happens. It happens for sure. So, all right, man. So, what the first question I really like to ask guests is
Yeah, man.
what got you into this world of high strangeness? Like, go all the way back. Like,
Yeah, man.
did you have like, paranormal issues or not issues, but like stuff when you were a kid or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could, wherever the origin story of this whole world of high strangeness was for you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's as far back as I can remember. I've had, like, paranormal stuff around me, and when I was younger and even up into my 30s, I thought that was pretty cool, and now you know, w a few years ago, it clicked as to what I think was going on, and I'll share that too, but, yeah, ever since I was a kid, man, like, growing up, the house was haunted,
Yeah.
we lived in
Yep.
this, like, 100-year-old stone house in Southern West Virginia, and it had history before we moved there, but, we were real poor kids, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we didn't have a whole lot, so, like, this family that lived I think they lived in Texas, they let us live in this house rent free, we just had to do with the upkeep or whatever,
Hmm.
so my mom moved in there and, uh, people had died in the home, and, like, it was just like a weird
One
scenario.
of those. One of those. Yes.
Yeah, like, you go in the living room and it's rocking or you lay down at night and, like, the stereo turns on by itself, and then you walk over to it and it stops, just, like, little weird pesky stuff.
Yes. I do.
Um, but yeah, man, just as life went on, and I grew up and went out on my own, just things followed me, man, like,
Yeah.
if I move into an apartment, there'd be weird stuff happening, dishes moving in the kitchen, Uh, there's voices. Um, I don't know. It was just everywhere I went. And then I joined the military. Things didn't seem too paranormal while I was in the Air Force.
Hmm.
But the day I was coming home, man, that was that was like a life changing, profound thing that happened. Um, my dad came down. I was stationed at Barksdale
Yeah, I didn't know
in
you were
Louisiana.
a veteran. Thanks for your service, man.
Well, thank you for the support, bro.
Yeah.
Um, On the day I was leaving, my dad drove down to help me with the move back home, right? So he come down and I showed him around. We went out and went to New Orleans and all the stuff you do before you leave somewhere for good.
Yeah.
And we packed up and we're driving home. And that night, um, I don't know, I guess it was around midnight. We're on the road and we were driving through this town. It was called Arkadelphia, and it sounds made up,
Arkadelphia.
but it's
Yeah,
not.
right, right.
There's like I remember that where we were at because there was a water tower that we had just passed, and it had it painted on the water tower. It's Arkadelphia. It was on I-20,
Okay.
coming out of Louisiana, and we're sitting in my dad's. He had an H2 Hummer at the time, and it was like
Mhm.
candy apple red. It was cool. But we were sitting there, and I say that because the glass is flat. It's like vertical windows,
Yeah.
so there's not a whole lot of room for glare on that kind of stuff. But we're driving home, and I noticed this light out of the corner of my eye off to my right, and it's going parallel with the interstate. It's just a white light, and it's moving at a pretty good pace, pretty far away. It just looks like a ball of light, and it starts leading the vehicle. So it's going faster than we are, and it gets out to where you can see it through the windshield now, right? And it gets right over top of I-20, just like maybe a mile down the road. Like it's all nice and straight down there. So
Yeah,
it's just,
everything, right.
yeah, dude. And it's just straight in front of us. And my dad sees it too. So now I have somebody that's a witness here, right? And we're watching this light and we're talking back and forth, what is this? What is this? And then all of a sudden that white light flashed out and filled the entire windshield with this green color, man. Like this bright green. I don't know how to describe it. Just a funky
Green.
green. The whole windshield is lit up. and then that light sucked back in like a pinpoint and
Mhm.
then disappeared.
What the heck?
Um, it was like something opened a portal, man,
Yeah, that's what
you
it
know?
sounds kinda like.
And, in unison, my dad and I were both like, "What the"
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Um, but, that was 2009. We didn't have, like, iPhones out and all that kinda
No,
stuff. We're just
there
trucking
was
along,
barely
man.
cell phones at that time.
Yeah, man. And, it just hit like this stuff is extremely real. Um, what is that? And it sparked that curiosity. Um, while I was in, I started a little ghost hunting team because ghost hunters was big, and I was in Louisiana.
Yeah,
Like I
man.
said,
Yeah,
there
man.
wasn't a whole lot of paranormal going
Yeah.
on while I was in, but I was trying to make paranormal stuff go on.
Yes. I
And
understand.
I called the ghost hunting team Bump. So I mean,
Bump.
it's an old name. It's been
Yeah,
around for like 20
gotcha.
years.
That's cool.
And we would just do stuff like go to cemeteries and stuff and
Yeah.
try to find weird stuff, but it's not even worth like,
EVPs and stuff.
yeah, man. So we do that stuff, and I come back home and I try to carry that on. Um, I had a buddy in Michigan that called me to come up to his house to check it out because he swore that he heard growling and stuff like that in the basement of his home, and
Mm,
old Air Force buddy. And so I drove up there and uh, had what was probably a near death experience checking that stuff out.
wow.
Because you play with stuff that you don't realize what you're doing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Um, like I was a total idiot, honestly, dude. I go up
It's like
there
the
with
blind leading the blind, man. You're
it.
just
It
yeah.
was, man, and I'm saying it. It's kind of funny now, but in the moment, it was just pure ignorance that opened a
Yeah.
door. And
Yep.
so if I repeat this story, just I don't want anybody to go out and do this stuff. Just
Oh,
take it as
yeah.
a warning as to not do it. Um, but I went up there with all my ghost hunting stuff, right? So I had like the 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 thermal air reader, take the ambient air temperature
Mhm.
stuff, the digital recorders to record any, EVPs, and so I'm going up there and we're checking this stuff out, and we go down into his basement, and all around. And I know I feel like I'm jumping around here, man, but I'm just giving you like a
It's all good.
little bit of a timeline of like how weird stuff happened to me until I started the show. um, so we go down to this guy's basement, right? And we're talking to the ghost or whatever, and we do temperature readings, and around where I stand, it's significantly colder on this reading, like 15, 20 degrees colder, no matter where I go in the room.
Mm.
So it just seemed like something was around me, right? And being an idiot, I invited whatever it was to use my life force, use my energy, blah, blah, to manifest.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Stupid, ain't it? Um, so nothing showed up, right? But that night,
Mm.
I got in such a way, man, like my blood pressure spiked to like 160 over 120. I went to urgent
Wow.
care and they wouldn't see me because I didn't have insurance. I just got out of the Air Force. I hadn't started a job yet. I've been out like a month.
Right.
Um, so
Oh
I
my
go home,
gosh.
I go back to his house, and it's like, I don't know if I passed out or went to sleep. It's like the walls felt like they were just closing in on me, man.
Mm.
And I was wrecked for about a week. And then after that, for 5 solid years, it felt like I had a curse, dude. Like if anything could go wrong, it went wrong. I couldn't get in a vehicle hardly, like without my car breaking down. I couldn't find meaning and purpose and peace. I had already strayed away from the Lord.
Yeah.
I found Jesus when I was like 20. Um, but then I fell really, really, really far away. And so this was like this lowest point in my life, man. And for 5 solid years, I was just like a toy for the devil, man. I got beat up coming and going. And, I just kinda thought that was my lot in life, man. I felt like I just didn't deserve anything. I didn't need anything. Um, and
Wow.
yeah, it's just that went on, and it was almost 5 years to the day, and it just felt like something lifted off, like, boom, it just ended. And I didn't do anything profound at that time to stop it. It's just
Hmm.
like there was like a series of time I had to pay for what I
Yeah,
did.
it's like
Uh,
the
um,
curse
and
of
yeah,
whatever.
man. Yeah. And, within a couple years after that, after the realizations of, reality and all that,
Yeah.
God slowly reeled me back home and, I rededicated my life to him and stuff about 37, 38, 39, somewhere through there, my late 30s, early, right around 40. And, I compiled my stories, man, and there's a whole lot that happened in my life that didn't make the highlight reel, but, we, we've had a journey, man, and I know you get into Bigfoot, so I'll tell you that one real quick too if you want.
Yeah.
I was 38 years old, and this is another one of those things, it's just like confirmation that we're not alone kinda stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so it was post-curse and pre-Christ, I guess, it was I was like
Yeah,
it's
right, right.
one of those moments
It's
before
the
right before I
segue.
yeah, it was right in that window, man. I went, it's right down the road from my house, dude. I'm not 15 minutes away from the place. I went squirrel hunting mid-September, and it was a wildlife management area down here. So everything's protected, you're by yourself, you're allowed to squirrel hunt in the area. And I went down there and got set up against this tree, and it started raining a little bit. And if you hunt or know anybody that does, when the rain stops, squirrels come back out. You know what I mean? Like they're one of the first things to get back in action. So
Yeah.
I thought a little bit of drizzle of rain is a good thing. So I just sat there and
It
waited.
gives you cover, at
Yeah.
least to get in and
Yeah. Yeah. For
set up.
sure, man.
Yeah.
So I got tucked in and I'm sitting there waiting and I hear, like I said, I'm in Southern West Virginia. So it's all mountains, right? It's like there's not a flat spot around here,
Yeah.
dude. So I'm up against this hillside, and it's pretty straight up and down behind me. There might be some deer trails or anything back there, but up behind me in this wildlife management area, I hear what sounds like somebody kind of giggling, and it sounded like a woman.
Yep.
And not to racially profile in any way, shape, or form, but it kind of sounded like an Asian lady, you
Okay.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like an Asian lady giggling, talking, kind of up behind me. And we don't have a very large population to fit that demographic where I live, right? I mean, it's
Right,
just,
right.
uh, and so it just hit me as funny. I was like, who would be out here in hunting season in the middle of nowhere in this WMA,
Up on this ridge.
right? And finding something funny in the rain. I mean, it don't
Nobody.
make sense.
Nobody.
So I hear that and kind of put it out of my head for a second. Rain stops, squirrel comes out. I shoot the squirrel. I'll go get it, bring it back to where I'm sitting at, and I just tuck back in. And right after I sit back down, man, in that same spot behind me, I hear another vocalization. It sounds like, um, okay, like if you fall on your butt
Mhm.
and it kind of knocks the breath out of it, like that kind
Oof.
of sound,
Yeah.
right? I hear that, and simultaneously, I hear a large thud, and I look up behind me, and I don't see what it was, but what I see is a branch off of a tree, like helicoptering, like not limb over limb, but like sideways,
Yeah.
and it hits the tree back behind me on the hill and kinda changes trajectory and goes off to my right.
Holy hell.
And, so that's got my attention, right?
Yeah, of course.
This Asian lady threw a tree branch at
This
me,
Asian
right?
lady. Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
but, by that point in my life, I was, like, 38 years old. Um, I listened to Wes Germer and Sasquatch Chronicles
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that back.
Yep.
So, I was well aware of what I thought was going on.
Yeah.
So I whip out at that point, I do have a cell phone, so I
Yes.
pull out the cell phone and I start panning around, just recording the area. And I start talking to it, I'm not going to go anywhere. I don't mean you any harm and blah, blah. And just trying to negotiate for this thing to show itself.
Yeah, right.
Never do see anything, man. Um, but I go home fully convinced that I just had some kind of encounter.
Yeah.
Because how would that happen? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
what could that
It's
be?
not like squirrels are throwing,
Right.
or anything in the woods other than, laughing Asian ladies.
Right. Right. And in my mind, I thought it heard the shot, it didn't like it, or
Yeah, absolutely.
maybe it thought I was gonna run away and it was gonna get a quick meal. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
wasn't
trying to
leaving my
steal your
squirrel.
squirrel. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wasn't gonna let that happen, and it's like it didn't turn me off from hunting like it does some people,
Mhm.
I still went back, but, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get nervous,
Oh, of
like,
course, absolutely.
I'd go back to that area and there'd be days, you go in well before daylight, with
Yeah.
the little flashlight and you find your hunting spot or whatever. But there'd be days, man, I'd sit in my truck, when I had it then, and I couldn't get out my truck until the sun came up, like, couldn't make myself do it.
Yeah, I that's the only thing for me now. I'll walk around the woods all day during the day.
Yeah,
I don't have an issue by myself at all during the day. At night though, it's a different animal.
yeah,
Now, literally I'll go out with other people at night, but
right,
I can't bring myself to to be out there on my own at night. I just
yeah,
had too many hairy experiences and I'm just like, this is not cool. Like and I don't know what it's just, I never got afraid during the day, but I've gotten afraid at night.
oh, yeah.
And I don't know what that's all about, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, man. Uh, and I still go camping. I camp solo and stuff like that. Um,
Oh
but
yeah, no, I do that too, but
you're like, "You're a
I'm in my
nervous wreck."
tent, bro. I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm in my tent. Once the sun goes down, like it's not even me sitting by the fire by myself anymore. It's like I'm in my tent.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah,
it's gonna save me from anything, It's
right.
but no, nope.
Yeah.
It's so
I just
weird. What?
I just take
Why we do this to
a
ourselves?
I know, man. I can't help it, I love the woods more than I
Oh,
fear anything
same,
in it,
same.
and so I just take a bigger firearm and, hope that don't flag you on anything, but
No, no, I'm
uh,
the same way.
I just roll in strapped up, man, and,
Do your
uh,
thing.
do my thing, man. But, yeah, they called it a Class B
Yeah,
encounter or
right,
whatever,
for
and,
sure.
I talked to a dude from BFRO, he got a hold of me. I had him on the show a couple times years ago, and, they got me on finding Bigfoot. They did that, big return episode
Yeah, right.
about 5 years ago, and, they had me come out there for a town hall meeting, so I got to talk about that for,
Cool.
like, 13 seconds on air.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
right.
uh, it was fun. It
Big
was
finding
fun.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, man, but all that stuff piles in together, and, you have people paving the way like Wes and Tony and them,
Yeah.
and, it just led me to striking out on my own and doing a show because I thought, worst case scenario, I'll get to come on here on my own terms
Mhm.
and share my stories, but it was never that. From the first episode, I did a little intro. It was horrible. It lasted about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I started bringing guests on. The first couple were people that I knew, and then after that, it just started rolling, man. And it's been fun. It's been a blessing.
Yeah. No, I remember the first episode I heard from you was a Bigfoot episode. I don't remember who was on. Yeah, I don't remember who was on, but I do remember that one being the first one that I listened to of yours. And then I remember the Eliud episode.
Oh yeah, man.
And I think I had heard you talk about that on another podcast. And then I was like, I got to check this out because this is when when I first started switching from just being Sasquatch to this all rhymes, man, because I've just been thinking, and then when I talked to Gary Wayne and he told me what Eliud actually meant, I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
There's yeah. So I remember that, and I've used that story from your podcast with her talking with the mind speak or whatever that was.
Yeah, man.
And her using that term Eliud, and I've used that in I don't know how many ad nauseum podcasts, talking about that and how there's that correlation.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I really think that's what we're dealing with, man.
Yeah. No, I think it's all of it. It's not just Sasquatch. I think there's some Dogman. I think Dogman and all the other creatures, monsters, whatever you want. I think not all maybe, but a lot of, there's just that there's that hook. So
yeah,
that's a whole nother episode or 10, you know what I mean? So, and I talk about that stuff on my show all the time. So it's one of those things that, so early influencers on you. You said Wes, you said Tony.
Yeah.
Who else? Anybody else?
Yeah, I would, it would be a disservice to not talk about the man who I talked to. Like I said, I talked to him off air, and he kind of gave me guidance as to how to handle my show.
Mm-hmm.
And he has since, I think he quit talking about the scary stuff, man. And it's a different kind of scary. I think he talks about politics now.
Okay.
But Dark Waters.
Oh, yeah. I know who he is. I mean, I don't know him, but I know who he is. Yeah, you don't see him talk about the spooky stuff too much anymore, man.
Yeah, he said a few years ago that he was hanging up the Dogman stuff, and I don't blame him for it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't really talk about. I don't know why.
He's such a wealth of knowledge and such a wonderful guy, dude. Off air, he took so much time for me, man. He would call me, checked on me, and we had good communication for a little while. And I don't know, I could imagine he's pretty busy.
Yeah.
And so I've reached out a couple times.
His YouTube channel's pretty big.
Yeah, like when we talked, he had at this point, I think he had 30,000 followers or something like that. And I don't even know how many he's got now. I don't.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah,
I can tell you, but he, I definitely have watched his podcast in the past.
Yeah, man.
But he does seem to be a wealth of knowledge. But so what did he say? What advice did he give you? Yeah, he's at 572,000 now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well earned.
And there we go, Mr. Dark Waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's definitely making a living doing this.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Just saying.
For sure.
James Williams, that's his name.
James, that's it. He's a businessman. It's that was his professional background, was in business. So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I didn't have that luxury. My background was twisting wrenches and coal mining and
right. Yeah, no, I got you.
But yeah, he told me about making an altar to God. He said, and it's mostly through prayer, to sit down with the Lord and make a commitment and, lay your show or your works, whatever your works may be, lay them down at the altar and ask God if he would receive it and
Mhm.
just let you be a steward of this product, of this service, that it belongs to him. Let him send you who he wants. Um, and stop making it about yourself.
Absolutely.
And, that's it's hard to do that when you feel like you're putting the work in and you feel like it's your brainchild and you feel like this or that. But it's rewarding in a spiritual sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Got to get the ego out of the way.
yeah, man. And I'll be honest with you. Um, this year has been incredibly difficult. Um, I had no problem, laying in anything. Nothing comes before God for me. Nothing, nothing. But I started looking at the business side of doing the show,
Mhm.
and the business side of writing a book and wanting to see downloads, wanting to see revenue coming in,
Mhm.
wanted to see book sales. And I started, you know, wanting to rely on income from the show. 'Cause I've been doing it for a long time, right?
Yeah, right.
And I see people that started after me come up, and I've seen people that I started at the same time with that we used to talk, and now they're making probably a couple 100,000 a year off their show.
Yeah.
And we go and here's mine, and I'm like, "What's happening?" So I take my eyes off the cross for a second,
Oh, yeah.
and doing that, dude, um, um, I had to be reminded, and you don't want God to have to remind you of things.
No. No.
Um,
No.
but I had to be reminded that it's not about me, and it's definitely not about money.
Mhm.
It's about him.
Yeah.
Um, and so I watched my show that I've been doing for almost 6 years now, man. I'm currently getting the downloads that I got 5 years ago. It's just like a gut punch.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Right.
What do
Yeah.
you think you're
Oh,
doing?
man, that's
This has
brutal.
nothing to do with you, right? So you go
Yeah.
from getting, you know, I don't know, thousands and thousands of downloads a week
Yeah.
to you're lucky to get 1,000 downloads this week, man.
Mm.
And it's like, what am I doing wrong? Well, you took your eyes off of me,
Yeah.
you know?
Did it. Yeah. And it's a fine line. Well, it's not that fine a line, but
Right.
it definitely, I think the way that I've been doing it is this is a ministry,
Yep.
and
That's
that's
it.
how you
It's a
have to
ministry.
approach it. And,
Yep.
and it feels right, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I get it though, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
man.
and it'll burn you and you know it. You're like, damn. Because
Yes.
it did happen to me too. And I haven't done it as nearly. I've been podcasting a long time, but this
Right.
podcast, see, you've had the same podcast for like 6 years,
Right.
right? And that's brutal. That's just
Yeah.
like, oof. I totally understand because I did that about a year. I wasn't that far into it, but like with this podcast, and I literally was like, oh, I kind of got like annoyed because I wasn't getting where I wanted to go with it.
Yeah.
And then it was literally like me 2 weeks. And I was like, I wouldn't say I took it off, but I just didn't, I was like, screw this kind of. And
Yep.
I got answered and it was like, nope. Like the audio went through the floor and
Yeah,
I was just
man.
like, oh my God.
Yeah, man.
And I'm just getting back to where I was a year ago, just with that, but that's because, well, it's for the right reasons. So,
Right. Yeah. It's got to be obedience, man. And it's totally my fault. You know, it was probably around, I don't know, November, I'd say,
mhm.
that I was like, oh, I got to make this much money. I got to make this much money come in so I can take care of this or that. And
Yeah.
what? It's not about that, man.
Yeah. I know. I know.
And dude, it was such a rookie mistake, and it was such a selfish thing. But that you can, because this is a ministry, you
Yes.
know, and it takes a lot of swallowing your pride to even talk about this out loud right now, man. But
Mhm.
it's almost like a preacher after church is over going and looking at the collection plate. You know, like that is that why you're doing it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But yeah, I had that moment, man,
Yeah.
where I was like, I wanna make Christmas good, or you know, I wanna, you know, get
Yeah.
a higher quality camera so I can keep up with the Joneses, on
Yeah,
YouTube.
right. Instead of just using the crappy iPhone you have, which
Right?
it doesn't matter. Like, it
No,
does, but it doesn't.
that's the thing, and it's, you know, I know the guests that come on are gonna reach who the Lord wants them to reach,
Yeah.
and so if I get 20 downloads one day, one of those 20 people at least is who God wanted to hear whatever's being produced. And that's what you need to look at.
Yeah.
Our rewards are being stacked in heaven. It's not our treasure is there. It's not here.
Yeah. True story.
Um, and it's all about getting testimonies because that's what the show has kind of just become. It's no longer just about telling me scary stories and let's scare each other. You
Yeah.
know, it's about I went through this. This is what it was. Here's some scripture that can connect it. And this is how we overcome through Christ. And so it's stories of redemption every week.
Mm.
And if my audience has to change, if that's what's going on, if it's a segue from people that want to hear the spooky
Yeah.
going away and this a base of people finding Christ is coming up, then glory be to God.
Yeah.
If it's just penance for me being an idiot for a couple months, glory be to
So
God.
be it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, all you can do is be obedient, and like you said, you experienced it. How many times do we see the prophets mess up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. True.
so we'll be all right.
It absolutely. I think it's one of those things like if you just start making the content that your heart tells you to make, it'll all work out
That's it.
and be consistent about it. And
Yep.
there is a balance because you have to play the balancing game with what you're able to do. And just because you want to do it doesn't mean you can or should, right?
Right.
So
Amen.
so I definitely know where I got it. And I've had this through business and all kinds of things. I get it. So it's that balance. Creating content is tough. It can be tough, especially when you have a job.
Yeah, man.
Um, it's just one of those things too, is that you've got to look at the blessings too, is look at who in your life, and who have you met through the business that could also make your life easier or better.
Yep.
And things like that, and so you've got to lean on people. The way I look at it, man, I'm a veteran too.
Oh,
You got to
thank
look
you.
at, you
Thank you
got to
for your
look at,
service.
absolutely. My pleasure. Like, what do you even say to that? Thanks for your
I know,
support.
dude. It's like so
Thanks for your support.
awkward.
And I'm like, I literally am going, it's my pleasure. And I get that from Chick-fil-A. I'm like, I'll hit them with the Chick-fil-A. It's my pleasure. I mean, I fully mean that too, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, so, with this though, it's kind of like, I have 4 kids, man. I get it. It's tough, but at the end of the day, it's the grind. It is a grind, but it's a grind for a reason. especially if you're trying to touch hearts and minds. I hate that, but I say it.
It's
And
true.
at the end of the day, too, you've got to remember things like that you learned through camaraderie in the military is things like rising tides raises all ships,
That's right.
things like that. And surround yourself with those people.
Yeah,
So,
man.
and there's plenty of them here,
Oh, yeah.
plenty of them in this niche, in this genre. And there's some assholes too, though, man. And
Oh, for sure,
we
dude.
do know, everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, too, it's not a reason to be an asshole yourself.
Right.
Right. So
Amen.
I'm Switzerland, brother, and I'm friends with everybody, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's the approach I
and the
try to
other
take.
thing is, I think, and I see this with you too, and I see this with your show. You interview who you want to interview.
Yeah.
There's nobody's going to tell you who to interview or who not to. And you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I love that. So yeah, man, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to not get caught up in
Any of the
chasing
politics, man.
yeah, and chasing names, you
Yeah.
know? Like, I love having somebody like Dr. Laura Sanger on the show or
Yeah.
Gary
She's
Wayne
like
on the
so
show.
fun to talk to.
Yeah,
And
man.
the fact that she even gives guys like us the time of day,
For real.
man, come on.
For real.
Kidding me?
Like, and I love talking to them, and I do gain personally, it edifies me, or Vicky Joy Anderson,
I just had her
um,
on again, the second
Natalie
time. Yeah.
Natalie Atwell. Um,
See?
I
You got to write
I
names
love
down.
I love having her on, man, and she's coming on next week, but it would be easy to get caught up in just talking to these people,
Oh,
like,
of
just the
course.
ones that have the 10,000 hours, the professionals, but I don't know. I'm supposed to bring on whoever emails me,
Yeah.
and because they have something that was put on their hearts to talk about, and they are just as important to God as, you know, Trump. You know what I mean? Like, it don't
Yeah,
matter
man.
who you
Yeah.
are. Uh, so I couldn't put anybody above another on who I'm bringing on or who I seek out and stuff like that. And
Yeah. I
um,
agree. It's all in just the order it falls.
yeah, man. And also, you've done this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Have Do you notice like a trend or like a pattern of what kind of episodes are coming through your show? Like, what I mean by that is, like, I'll have a month to where every person that wants to come on the show that month is just happens to be talking about like sleep paralysis.
It,
And then a
I
month
think,
after,
I don't know if that's grifting or what that is.
it's weird. It's just like, but I'll have them lined up and not even know it. And they'll come on
Yeah.
the show and it's just like, that's what everybody's talking about, sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And then like the beginning of this year, I've had like 2 or 3 Bigfoot encounters again. Like it feels like 2020 again, man.
Yeah,
It's like
man.
everybody's want to
That's
talk about
wild.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it just goes through these waves. And
Yeah. I'm
it's,
kind of cycling back through like people I've had on before at this
yeah,
point
man.
and just kind of seeing what they're up to,
That's cool.
like what's new.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I have new people like you and
Yeah.
other people that I haven't talked to before, but I look for, I'll tell you, man, this isn't rocket science for me. I literally scroll through social media, and I look at things that just hit me.
Yep.
And if they hit me and it calls out to me, I reach out. I don't have a lot of people reach out to me.
Yeah.
I do. So this is weird. This is a really weird thing that you just kind of hit with me for this podcast. I don't have, because I have another podcast too. And I can't get people to stop trying to get on that show. And it's not because it's popular, because it's not even popular. It's a national security podcast that I do, but
Sweet.
but I can't get people, like I get new interview requests. Like I wish I had that problem with the broadcasting seeds. I don't have people say no to coming on,
Right.
but I have to initiate. And I think that's very telling. It's because it's where I am being led to ask,
Yeah.
right? And there's a
Yeah.
few guests out there that have been like, I can't ask to be on a show. Like they're led by God.
Yeah.
And he's like forbid them to go out and like try to be on a show versus them asking for. And so I've had a lot of that lately
Yeah,
where
man.
people that I ask are like, I'm so glad you asked because I really wanted to come on your show. I saw you on this show or that show, but I'm not allowed to ask. So
Wow.
that's
Wow.
kind of cool.
That is cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So I'm being led to them literally.
right. I love it, man.
Just
And
obscure people too. Not even like,
and that goes back to obedience. If you feel
yeah,
led to do it and you're doing it, glory to God.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I'd like to get you on my show and, talk
Whenever,
about
man.
some of these experiences that you've had, like what makes it so spooky at night when you get in your tent.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just
So
past experiences I've had, man, that are just
yeah,
like, okay, I'm
yeah,
51 years old and I'm not playing games anymore.
right.
So,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not as
man.
fast as I used to be. I can't
No,
really outrun.
nope, nope.
Oh, man.
I still go out. I still research. I mean, is that what I call it
Yeah,
research?
yeah.
It's more like smoking cigars and bullshitting, but it's still a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that approach that everybody's like, the best way to have a Bigfoot encounter is to just go camping and sit around the campfire
yep.
and, just see if something happens. I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's all okay. We'll call that research."
I accept your research.
Yeah,
Kinda
yeah.
although I heard a story lately that was just amazing, and they were actually out walking around in the woods. No, I'm not. That's crap. I do go do that.
Oh, sure.
But it's not like that's our main thing. We might do it one night on like a 4-day expedition, right?
Right.
Maybe 2. But we're not like trompsing through the woods. We go find spots and then we usually sit there. Um, anyway, you know what I'm saying, but
Right.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
how do you find that, what's a mistake you've made early in the show that has become a lesson for you besides what you were just talking about, like maybe early on?
Yeah. Um, I tell you, a big mistake is to compare your show to someone
Oh,
else's.
can't do it
Dude,
because they're so different. Even when they're the
yeah.
same, they're different.
Yeah, man. It's so different, and you don't know what's going on behind the scenes for somebody else. You don't know what their resources are. You don't know, uh, what kinda downtime they have or scheduling that they have. There's so many variables to putting out a show, and it's kinda like, well, when Jesus is talking to Peter and John, and he tells Peter to come with him, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and Peter's like, "Well, what about this guy?" Talking about John. He's like, "What's it to you if he stays here until I return? You come with me." So
Yeah.
it's like, stop worrying about what other people are doing,
Yeah.
right? So comparing yourself to someone else's show or trying to measure your success based on someone else's success, all that's gonna do is bring you discouragement. And if you're doing better than someone else's show on the books, all that's gonna do is stroke your ego, and you don't need that either.
Yeah.
Um, so, to keep our eyes on our mission and not worry about what's going on with other shows. That would be a big mistake. Inconsistency would be a
Mm,
big mistake,
yeah.
because it does not take long for people who do listen to your show. If you're not putting out content at whatever set schedule you have, if it's every week, every 2 weeks, if it's monthly, whatever your schedule is that fits your needs, if you're not consistent in doing that, there'll be 20 shows that can replace your show in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Mm. Goodness. Um, so how has Bump reshaped your like professional path or maybe opened unexpected doors?
Absolutely. I wrote a book. I never saw that coming. I'll tell you that.
You're like, what?
Yeah,
I have
man.
a book here in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's through the show for sure. Because it opened up this base that I could send it to, that I could talk to.
Yeah.
Doing the show has helped me with any kind of public speaking issues. Well, I know we're talking to cameras really or looking at screens, but
But still.
yeah, you get so comfortable having conversation with people about really weird things. It helps you on a professional level of being able to witness a little bit easier to other people, as far as like and being a disciple. Uh, it opens doors for going to conventions and conferences.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say is that you can roll up into a convention and you go up to people like you'd never even think about doing that before. Like
Right.
and you're just like, "Hey man," and they're your peers in all honesty. And
Yeah.
you're shaking hands and whatnot, and
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah. We did a Bigfoot festival last summer, and there's a couple of people that I was excited to meet, and they seemed excited to meet me too.
Yeah.
And it was so awkward. I'm like
Yeah.
looking behind me, it's like,
Yeah.
no, dude. So yeah, it definitely opens a lot of doors, man. Um, there's a lot of fruit that comes from it. Um, yeah, I mean, you get to be buddies with people that
Mhm.
you used to just look up to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still look up to them, but now you text each other. You know what I mean? It's like
Absolutely.
it opens friendships. Um, there's been nothing bad,
Yeah.
you learn and you grow and things might change in your life that I don't know. It probably needed to change anyway.
Probably, right?
So
Just got the spurs
yeah,
and
buddy.
made you change it.
Yeah.
Didn't have somebody didn't give you a choice.
Right.
Yeah, I met Doc Brown at we talked and he had been on the show and vice versa, but we had never met each other until this past summer. Um
Right.
and in Gatlinburg at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference. There's two of them there. So it's the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Got to meet Jeff Meldrum right before he passed. There
Yeah,
was just
man.
some really cool things that just don't happen in other places. So
Right.
I always encourage people, just go. Have
Yeah.
fun. Even if you're not going and you don't have a table and you don't do whatever, just go and walk around and talk to everybody. And, usually the admission, if there even is admission,
Right.
is hardly anything. So
Right. Yeah,
it's just a good time.
they're definitely worth going to, man.
Hmm.
Um, like I said, I had a table last year, and I I intend to do a few of them this year.
Yeah.
Lord willing, it just all depends, but I don't know.
Well, if you
Uh,
figure it out, let me know. And who knows, maybe I'll come.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Another thing about mistakes, huh? If you're gonna do this route and you're gonna do conventions and conferences and stuff like that, you may not want to get too zealous and have an overhead in your stock and your merch and all
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because taking home as much stuff as you brought can be daunting,
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Um, don't get into it for making money. Get into
No,
it for just,
because you're
getting
not
your
going to get rich. And if you
no.
do, more power to you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, bro. Like, the last year when I went, I took, like, maybe, I don't know, a dozen T-shirts is all I took, you know?
yeah,
And, you sell 3 or 4 of those, and you're like, "Alright."
that's
Now, had
awesome.
had I bought 12 in every size, in
Oh,
every
no.
design,
Yeah.
you can't roll in with 400 shirts,
Yep.
because 400 people don't care about you that much,
They
you know what I
don't.
mean? Uh,
Yep.
So, yeah, you gotta
Keep
be
it simple, right? Keep it
keep
simple.
it simple. Take
That's
small
why
stuff.
books are good, man,
Yeah, books,
because books are
decals.
great.
Everybody wants a cheap decal or a
Yeah,
magnet, you
yeah,
know?
for
Uh,
sure.
it takes a few conventions to learn that stuff, man.
Absolutely.
But
Agreed.
yeah.
Um, yeah, man. So the last question I always ask folks is the name of the show is Broadcasting Seeds, and I like the guest to plant the seed in the audience's mind about whatever you want, man. It could be about fatherhood or anything, literally anything. Just plant
Yeah,
a seed as long as it's something that people could plant and harvest later, then that's what I like.
absolutely. That doesn't put me on the spot at all.
Not at all, man.
Uh, no, what the first thing, as you said, that came to my mind, man, is that we need to be very generous and forgiving and patient with others, but not with ourselves.
Mm,
Um, we need a lot of discipline, self-discipline, right? We need to be hard and strict on ourselves, but very patient and giving with others.
mhm.
That way we can treat other people how we want to be treated. We want to be met with love and forgiveness and mercy. Um, but we don't want to hold ourselves too loose or we won't be very fruitful, right?
True.
So if we practice discipline, and that's in all aspects of our life, man. Like there's things we don't want to do, but will it benefit your family? Will it benefit you down the road? Will it benefit someone else? Then do that thing.
Mhm.
Um, there's joy in doing that. You know, you don't have to like sacrifice all of your fun
No.
because you try to live a disciplined life.
Right.
There's a lot of fun in that. And do I do it every day? No, but it's something that we need to be mindful of. And just as much on being strict on ourselves is to be very, very tolerant and patient with others. We don't know what they're battling. We don't know what demonic influence that they're under because they very well may be. Um, but yeah, that would be the seed I'd like to plant is to be easy on other people and to be strict on ourselves
Yeah, for
and
sure.
see how much more fruitful life is.
For
Yeah.
sure. But you also need to look in the mirror and be kind.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that
I
part.
mean,
That's hard
meaning,
for me.
yeah, it is. I know exactly what you're saying because you do dumb stuff and you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, man, what are you doing? Or you talk to people, you talk to yourself. It's what the thing that caught me and really hit me whenever I was doing a lot of this self work. And it was all part of what this whole book is about is
Yeah.
running through some of these things and l- talking to yourself the way you would talk to others. Because
Mhm.
if you talk to others the way you talk to yourself, you'd have no one in your life.
That's true.
So
That's very true.
can't,
And
you just can't talk to yourself that way. It matters.
yeah. That leads me to one more encounter, if you don't mind me talking about it
Oh,
real quick, man.
absolutely.
This is a good one to part on. This was an encounter with God that I had. A lot of things happen to me on the mountain. Okay. When I go hunting, I love to hunt. I love to spend time outdoors. That's where I reach God as often as any church service.
Hmm.
Um, it's been 2 years now, I think. It wasn't this last season, but maybe the season before that. I was deer hunting and, it's dark. You're not, you can't see anything to be moving around yet, and I went out there. I didn't take a ground blind. I didn't go stay where my blind is at. I didn't use a tree stand. I just found some down trees up on a bank out of the way, and I tucked down in behind them so I could see over it and I could shoot over that if a deer come up this little crossing that I was in front of. And there's something about total solitude, man, that it gives you time to think, right? There's no cell phone service or anything like that, so it just
Hmm.
stays in your pocket, and it's just you and your mind and the Lord. And So I was sitting there, and this goes directly into what you were talking about, man. I was sitting there and just talking to God and started thinking about, if you don't forgive others, the Lord won't forgive you. So you start searching, who do I need to forgive? And I would think about people that I've had some run-ins with in my life, or people that I love dearly that just don't seem to feel the same way anymore. And, I forgive this person, I forgive that person. And no, I'm not holding anything against these people. So why is this so heavy on my heart, man?
Right.
And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. You had to forgive yourself. And bro, I sat there and just bawled my eyes out as I thought of everything that I have done wrong in my life
Yep.
and had to forgive myself for it.
Absolutely. It's
That's
huge.
hard, man.
It is hard,
But
but it's totally necessary.
it's very necessary. How can we ask God to forgive us if we can't forgive us?
Hmm.
And, when I left that hunting trip, I didn't get a deer, you know,
Yeah.
but what I did get up there was so much greater. Uh, I come off that mountain a changed man. And, so yeah, what you're saying is very true.
Hmm.
We need to be disciplined. We need to be strict in what we do. Um, but forgive ourselves if we fall when we fall short,
It's
because we
not a
will.
if, it's a when. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a win, man. Um, but we have to forgive ourselves, and whatever you're holding on to, you gotta let it go.
Yep.
Got to, man.
That's where it all starts.
Amen, brother.
Tell everybody where they can find you again.
Yes, sir. It's the Bump Podcast on all podcast platforms. It's Apple, Spotify, whatever the other ones are. All of them, it's on there. You can find them
There's
on
so
YouTube.
many now, man,
There
too.
are,
It's
dude.
so many.
I quit even trying to
I
keep up
I
with it.
just like click all the buttons and I'm like, whatever, send it to
Yep.
everybody.
Yep. Publish.
Yes,
Done.
exactly.
YouTube, TikTok. I'm trying to keep up with that for the show as well as my own personal goofiness.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. There's wherever there's social media, you'll
Yeah.
pretty well find the Bump Podcast if you look for it. Yeah, and I put out a new show every week, thank the Lord. And yeah, if you have an experience that you'd like to share, holler at me at the
Holler.
bumppodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Bo, thank you so much for coming on. It's fine. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Yeah, bro. I've enjoyed every second
And
of it.
soon.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I want to get you on the show and pick
Yeah,
your
man,
brain.
whenever you're ready.
All right, man. All right.
All right.
I grew up where the coal dust sticks to your name. Old stone house, old grief, old open flame. Something in the hallway knew my steps by heart. Radio turned itself on when the shadows start. My mama said, boy, don't feed what you can't see. But I chased that cold air like it was calling me. I thought it was a game, thought it made me brave. Till I learned real quick what a doorway saves. Now the night got teeth and the woods got eyes. And I talk sweet with a serpent smile. I laid my questions down in the dirt and prayed. If you want my voice, Lord, take it, I'll obey. Yeah. Make this mic an altar in the pines. Let the fire burn off all my lies. I'm done chasing numbers, done chasing signs. If one lost soul hears you, that's a win tonight. So I stand my ground where the dark used to roam. With a Bible, a breath, and a heart coming home. Yeah, I was hunted, yeah, I was blind. Now I'm wide awake and I'm yours this time. A midnight highway, white light running ahead. Green flash poured like a river through the windshield glass. like, what the? Then I went digging where I shouldn't go, talking loud in basements like I ran the show. Said, use my strength like I had some ride, and I paid for it heavy for a long damn fight. Cars broke down, peace broke loose, every wrong turn found brand new proof that I was a steer and I was being steered till mercy found me when the end got near. Make this mic an altar in the pines, let the fire burn off all my lies. I'm done chasing numbers, done chasing signs. If one lost soul hears you, that's a win tonight. So I stand my ground where the dark used to roam, with a Bible, a breath, and a heart coming home. Yeah, I was hunted, I was blind, now I'm wide awake and I'm yours this time. I forgave the ones that cut me deep, but the hardest name to set free was me. On that mountain I broke like a child, and you didn't shame me, you just stayed a while. So if you're hearing this with your back to the wall, and the air feels heavy like a threat in the hall, hold on, breathe, say his name out loud. There's no chain in hell that he won't pull you out. Make this mic an altar in the pines, let the fire burn off all my lies. I'm done chasing numbers, done chasing signs. If one lost soul hears you, that's a win tonight. So I stand my ground where the dark used to roam, with a Bible, a breath, and a heart coming home. Yeah, I was hunted, I was blind, now I'm wide awake and I'm yours this time.